There is another very painful part of divorce that few people talk about. It's not just losing your spouse. It's losing the family that came with the marriage. After years, sometimes decades, you may have celebrated holidays together, attended weddings, shared vacations, welcomed grandchildren, and built deep relationships with your in-laws. Then suddenly, everything changes. The invitations stop. The phone calls become less frequent. People who once called you family seem distant or absent. And surprisingly, that grief can feel overwhelming. If you've ever thought, I didn't just lose a husband, I lost an entire family, then today's video is for you. Because this loss is real, it's painful, and it's something many divorced women in their 50s and 60s silently carry. Today, we're going to talk about how to navigate these complicated relationships with grace, wisdom, and God's help. Hi, I'm Steph from Alberta, Canada, and if you're new to this channel, I'm a Christian life coach, and I help divorced women in their 50s and 60s climb over those hurdles that may be keeping them stuck and bring them into a strategized direction. From being paralyzed to living purposeful lives. I know what it feels like to be immobilized after divorce. I have lived through 2 divorces. The first in my mid-30s and the second in my early 50s. I struggled emotionally and financially, not knowing how I could go on. But over time, I learned the skills and the steps needed to move forward. And I have a heart to help women going through this same season of their lives. If you're interested in my online coaching services or online workshops, online support groups, or destination retreats, you can email me to the link in the description below. And if you're interested in a business opportunity that can change your life forever, check out my website, also in the link below. But today, I want to talk about 5 common reasons for grief around the loss of your ex's family, and 5 strategies that can help you navigate this difficult time in your life. So let's get into this. Number 1, a main reason this grief is so difficult is because the people around you rarely recognize that. They may understand that you're grieving the marriage, yes, but few understand you're also grieving your sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws, nieces and nephews, those family traditions, holiday gatherings, your shared history. These relationships often become woven into your life over decades. When divorce happens, you may be feeling like you lost an entire support system overnight. But just know that you don't need to minimize this pain. If you're grieving these relationships, that is normal. You've invested years of love and connection. This loss deserves acknowledgement. Number 2, a hard reality is realizing that your ex's family may feel caught in the middle. They withdraw because they just don't know what to say. Or they feel obligated to take sides. Or they may want a relationship with both of you, but struggle how to navigate that situation. This can feel deeply personal. But often their distance isn't rejection, it's discomfort. But what really hurts is the silent treatment. it's easy to interpret silence as they obviously never really cared about me. But that's not always true. People often pull away because they feel uncertain, awkward, or conflicted. Let me try to encourage you here. Try not to assign their motives when you can't verify them. Protect your heart from those assumptions. Not every relationship change is a reflection of your worth. Sometimes it's simply a reflection of the human complexity of things. Number 3, this may be one of the most important lessons after divorce. You cannot control who remains in your life. You cannot control who reaches out. You cannot control who chooses loyalty to your ex. And trying to force those outcomes only creates more disappointment for you. Don't spend your years waiting for people to act differently, waiting for invitations, waiting for acknowledgement, waiting for relationships to return to what they once were. Healing begins when you release those expectations that you cannot control. Your peace cannot depend on someone else's decision to stay connected. Your value remains unchanged regardless of who remains in your circle. Number 4. So when people pull away, it's easy to become resentful. You may think, after everything I did for that family, after all those years and this, how could they just stop everything? Those feelings are understandable. But bitterness creates another wound, one that continues hurting long after the divorce. In the Bible, the Apostle Paul tells us that if it is possible, as far as it depends on you and me, live in peace with everyone. This is from Romans 12:18. This means that as believers, we are to make every effort to resolve these conflicts, maintain unity, and avoid unnecessary offenses. We should always be seeking to understand the other person. But if it becomes toxic or dangerous or destructive, you are to step away from that relationship and let God deal with the other person in His own time. Notice here that Paul says, as far as it depends on you and me, that you cannot control another person's choices, but you can choose your own response. You can choose kindness. You can choose dignity. You can choose grace, even when others disappoint you. So remember, grace doesn't mean pretending you're not hurt. It means refusing to allow the hurt to harden your heart. Number 5, a beautiful truth about God's kingdom is that family isn't limited to blood relatives or in-laws for that matter. God brings new people into our lives during difficult seasons, new friends, new church family, new mentors, new opportunities for connection. By staying so focused on the relationships that you've lost, you may miss the relationships that God is providing. Your story is not defined by who left. It's shaped by who God brings into your life moving forward. There is still love ahead. There is still community ahead. There is still belonging ahead. So let's get into 5 action steps to help you navigate your future. Number 1, allow yourself to grieve and stop telling yourself, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Because this loss does matter. Give yourself permission to mourn the relationships that have changed. Number 2, release those unmet expectations. Ask yourself, what expectations am I holding on to that I cannot control? Then write them down. Then surrender each one of those to God in prayer. Number 3, keep your heart free from assumptions. Instead of assuming rejection, acknowledge that people often struggle with complicated family dynamics. And give others grace wherever possible. Number 4, invest in new relationships. Join a Bible study, a church group, a volunteer ministry, a support group. Healthy community is an important part of healing. Number 5, pray that God would open your eyes and heart to the people in your life who are still for you. Instead of focusing on who left, focus on who remains. Those are often the relationship God wants to strengthen. So my friend, if you've lost relationships with your ex's family, I want you to know something today. Your grief is real. Your disappointment is understandable. And your heartbreak matters to God. Remember Romans 12. It reminds us to pursue peace as far as it depends on us. You cannot control who stays. You cannot control who leaves. But you can trust the God who never leaves your side. And while some relationships may have ended, God's plan for your life has not. There are still people to meet, still friendships to build, still blessings to receive, still joy to experience. So is there someone that you know who could benefit from this message? Please share it with them. And leave me a message in the comments about what relationships lost after divorce has been your hardest to navigate through. And if you're interested in my coaching services, check out my email address in the description below. And there's a free download for you to work through if you are struggling with shame because of your divorce. Just check out my website, liveyournewlife.ca/well for the download. And remember, when people leave your life, God doesn't leave with them. He remains your constant source of love, belonging, and hope. So get ready to live your new life, and I'll see you in the next video.